Is your
Uh,
Rancid, is your tail tingling today?
yeah, I got your tail
Rancid,
right
Rancid,
here.
Rancid, Rancid. Just take a deep breath. Say it with me. I am a dirtbag.
I don't think that man's a real doctor.
Good enough. Good enough.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Living The DreamWorks episode 12, where we talk about every single DreamWorks movie. Oh, God.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
You know, folks, we are like a family, aren't we? All of us. Or maybe I just say that because I'm currently living in a log in Wash's backyard.
That's where all the food is.
We're talking about 2006, Over the Hedge. Do we have history with this movie?
I'm going last.
All right. Okay. Claire is assistant.
Claire has a
going last.
story.
I have a documentary.
Oh,
Okay, then I have like a like post-it note on the fridge. I saw this. I don't remember if I ever saw this in theaters, but I saw this at least a couple times in school. Like, this would be one of those movies that like the teacher
Wheeling in
would
the
put
tray
on.
with the TV on.
Yep.
Yep. It's just like she's hungover. She doesn't feel like teaching today, so we're gonna watch. So it's like, hey kids, what do you want to watch? Over the Hedge, and we watched Over the Hedge, and that's the last I had to think about Over the Hedge until this episode. And
We actually
we'll
had a
get to
pretty
how I
great
feel about
teacher in high school because she let us watch all of the episodes of Flight of the Conchords that were not inappropriate for high school kids. Loved Alvin the Racist Dragon.
I had a teacher. It was a math teacher that showed us like all these episodes of Dr. Katz.
Why?
And like,
why?
she really liked Dr. Katz. Like, she was really into that show, and so like we'd be watching this. We had no context for like who these comedians are or anything like that. It was just like a weird show that looked kind of like Ed, Edd and Eddy.
It's really important for you in the course of learning maths to like watch this squiggly version of Bernadette Peters do her act while she's going through therapy.
You know what? It's funnier than Over the Hedge. Speaking of, I don't remember watching this movie, but I do. I'm pretty sure it's what I like to classify as Stars movies, which basically where I would watch. I was desperate for anything animated or anything to watch that I could slightly catch my interest on the Stars channel because my family had that, and Over the Hedge would play quite frequently. And that's it. I don't have anything else to say about this movie. Wait, I watched this with my mom. I forgot.
Ooh. I mean, I was.
Wait. Oh, was it? Is this the movie that set the bar? Remember, I think we talked about this. Was it this movie?
No, it was the Mario movie.
Ah, darn! I wish. Okay,
But no, we watched this and she did think that this was better than Spirit.
okay.
But she was more like watching it off per se, and she didn't come in like during like the whole movie. Like she was out, and then she started watching it when I was there. Like I was in the middle of it. She came back home, then she started watching it with me. That's nothing too eventful, unfortunately.
I knew of this movie primarily as a thing that I think was on my Shrek 2 DVD as like before the like I got very acquainted with like Gary Shandling Turtle saying "You're the devil" before they both plummet, and I thought that line was funny in like absentia, divorce from anything. As a small child, it's not good today. I finally like hunkered down and watched it for the sake of the podcast, and then we had to postpone. And so, due to my uncompromising professionalism, I watched it a second time. And
I guess.
boy, I regret it.
Yeah, I was about to say, and it would mean something if all of us decide to watch it a second time. Rancid was the only one who did.
Rancid was the only one.
Of all the movies that we've covered, it's the least movie. Like, in terms of plot, it makes, like, Shark Tale look like Shrek 2.
Oh, wow.
Like, minus credits, this clocks in at, like, a lean 77 minutes.
Which is very short.
Yeah.
Barely feature length.
But did you watch it any other time than this?
No. What, are you crazy? No.
Alright, then in that case...
Electively? No, Jesus, no.
Claire, your story, please.
Okay, so I guess before the story, I do remember going to see this movie in the theaters as a kid, and I remember liking it as a kid, and I feel like I saw it one time after that before watching it for the podcast, but I don't remember anything about that experience, but I definitely remember seeing it in the theaters.
You probably enjoyed it more as a kid.
We'll get to that, but before we get to that, this was an experience because I watched the movie last week because I like to watch the movies typically the week of, so I watched it last week. I was going to watch it last Sunday because typically Sundays are the only days that I have, more than a little bit of free time. So I use my Sundays to watch the movie, but perhaps foreshadowingly, I completely forgot. just no external, like literally I just forgot. And then the next day, little thing happened, might have happened to, some of you people watching. Me and somebody I've been talking to confessed to each other, and now we're in a relationship. It's so far so good. We're both very happy.
Aww.
But I was talking to her, and she was talking about how it's like, oh, what are we gonna do? We gotta talk to each other all day. It's gonna be so great. We're like, what's our first date gonna be? And we're going through all these things that it could be. We could play a game together. We could just talk, we could learn things, spark romantics. And then I remembered, wait a minute, I didn't watch Over the Hedge yesterday. Hey, hi, babe. You know what our first date together could be? The thing that will spark the motions of our loving relationship forever? Let's watch Over the Hedge. And surprisingly, her reaction was, I remember loving that movie when I was a kid. I was like, oh, okay. And I specifically remember mentioning Over the Hedge to as the first date to Random, and him saying, oh, because I was like, I don't know whether I should be concerned or not. And he was like, oh, you'll see. That's all I got.
Yep.
So we watched the movie, and I mean, we'll talk about what my experience was as we go along. Interestingly, she had told me she would rate it a 6 out of 10, and then like a week later, she was like, yeah, I only did it because you didn't seem like you had a great time. I'd actually give it like an 8. And I'm like, an 8?
8?
Will they last?
But
I don't know.
As we talked about before, there were delays. Thankfully, everything is okay, and that's all that matters. But I wasn't about to watch the movie again, not with a re-experience like having a first date watching Over the Hedge. So I needed to keep my memories of the movie jogging somehow. So what we would do, or what I would do, in casual conversation with her specifically, is that I would slide in little references. Like, she would talk about, she would be like, oh, her eating habits are a little off sometimes. She's like, oh, it's like, noon, 2 o'clock, I still haven't eaten. And I'd be like, your stomach must be growling louder than RJ's when he was stuck in that tree after his plan didn't work. Or she'd get really mad at something and be like, oh man, you're angrier than Gladys and the Verninator when they were trying to exterminate the animals. or she would get like really upset or vocal about something, and I'm like, oh, you're like the Shakespearean rat or whatever his name was that I can't remember, who's always like dying.
I was just to interrupt. I think I was literally watching your VOD of the Nintendo Direct, and I'm pretty sure something happened that made you do that over and over the Hedge reference like that.
Yep, I don't remember what it would be, but we definitely talked. I do remember we talked about Over the Hedge during the Direct.
This is the worst version of Dharma Kinjulara Tanagra I've ever heard.
So needless to say, talking about Over the Hedge today is not only going to be a standard podcast episode, but it is also going to be a ritual of release. So the two of us can finally be free of the Over the Hedge references forever, and we can move on to that weird CG Aardman movie instead.
RJ, his eyes open. Vern, when the hedge fell.
I'll just say, oh no, 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 no.
No.
Also, it's like, it was a possum, not a rat.
Oh, whoops.
It was plain
That's
possum. That's the whole joke.
Whoops.
And it was William Shatner. Yeah, it was Shakespearean.
She calls it a white. She calls the daughter a white rat, but that's the joke.
Oh yeah.
So, this is a pretty stacked cast. Where do
If
we
you say
begin?
so. Rancid, you want to do the plot synopsis?
There's this Bruce Willis character, and he's kind of a cocky asshole. I know what you're thinking. It's a stretch for him, but he pulls it off. And he is so hungry that he decides to steal from a bear, voiced by sexiest man alive, 1991, Nick Nolte. And I don't know why. Apparently, they have like prior history. Like when Vincent actually wakes up, he's like, "RJ, what the hell are you doing?" And but
RJ!
it's not winter. Winter ain't over yet.
Would this movie come out before or after the mugshot?
I think the mugshot was like 2003, 2002, like right around the time he was like filming Hulk, because he looks identical in Hulk to that. So
That's right. I remember that.
I don't know. Like, there's this thing on Wikipedia that said like Nick Nolte was like studying the vocal habits of bears, which I just choose to believe is like a cover story. It's like, yeah, I'm living in a cave right now. I got a good thing going here. Don't spoil it.
Well-voiced bear for food.
Yep.
Sorry, Rancid. Continue.
I was thumbing through Jeffrey Katzenberg's trash bin at the time. No, it's no. Apparently, their prior history, because like Vincent reacts to RJ like, "What are you doing? You're pulling another hustle," and you know, like the like giant wagon of food gets smushed by a semi, and like Vincent gives him and the movie a ticking clock threat, like, you gotta like build this stockpile of food back up in a week, which I don't quite get, because like by the time the week is over, he would be done hibernating, and it's like, would he need to eat more because he would already have eaten, and would he need to like replenish his fat stores? I don't quite get it. And apparently the moon is going to turn full in a week when it's already like a crescent. That would take at least 3 weeks. But anyway, he's got a week to build a second stockpile of snack food. In his wandering, he turns to the suburbs, where it turns out, like, I hesitate to call them a workers' collective of forest animals, are like just emerging from their wintertime slumber to discover a suburban development has sprung up around them. They're the one tiny patch of green space in like sprawling McMansions as far as the eye can see. The leader, a turtle named Vern, is terrified by this. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want anything to do with these humans. But RJ, he was looking at this situation and thinking, hey, maybe I can make this work. Oh ho, patsies. And from there, we get most of the drive of the movie. But will this family of one discover his hidden heart?
Or discover that he is a dirtbag.
That's not a doctor.
Do we have anything to talk about with the movie?
I like actually commented this in the Discord after watching it for the first time. Is like this bear literally said to the main character, "I will hunt you down and kill you," and I'm still not feeling much of a threat.
No.
Yeah, like
Yeah, because he says it, and then he's just like, all right, go play.
he's like, I will kill you. All right, bye. I need to go nap now.
Wakes up, RJ.
3 things I will admit in this movie made me burst out laughing. I don't think this one was intentionally funny, but it was like when the wagon goes over the cliff, Nick Nolte's kind of disappointed. Oh no! Like he's scolding a child.
There are a few, we'll talk about it, but there are a few from Bruce Willis. If you
really strain.
air quotes.
Like this is not. He has not gotten much better since Rugrats Go Wild. I can tell you that.
It's pretty much the same level of energy, actually. Yeah, it's like he's like playing the wild character. It's it's not bad, but it ain't exceptional.
He's not Die Hard in this one.
No.
Oh God, no. But
this would be a very different movie if he was.
especially he never said yippee-ki-yay. That seems like the most obvious. Like, oh, Bruce Willis, you should say this line. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be a funny reference for you.
Yeah,
I'm sure Katzenberg wanted it, but no, I didn't want to have it over the hedge.
Hey, Vern, welcome to the party, pal. Something. It could have been anything.
I mean, I do have to wonder, like, how much involvement Katzenberg had, just because we didn't get, like, Yuta Turtle, Yuta Raccoon, Yuta Verninator. Yuta Verninator, I thought, was, like, plain and clear.
Given. Yeah, I thought he was going to say it, for sure. We didn't get anything like that, which was weird.
Exactly. Thus, I have to believe Jeffrey Katzenberg had no involvement.
Speaking of celebrity voice actors, it's like, I like Thomas Hayden Church. Like, he's great on Wings. I enjoy when he pops up and stuff. I love him in Sideways, but it's like, him as the Verminator is not really that energetic. It's certainly not as energetic and crazy as the character needs to be. Now, you put Randy Quaid behind that microphone, whole different story. Short list for casting. Randy Quaid would have been my number 1 with a bullet.
I don't know. Like, I think he sort of works as like Sandman. You know, like I can see him as like hammy.
Yeah, it's hammy, but it's understated. Not unlike Christopher Walken's Exterminator and Mouse Hunt.
God. I'm just thinking about better actors. I guess we can quickly say that this is the stunt casting in this is so bad.
Obvious.
Can I hate to be the one that brings this up, but like, so the Possums. Yeah. There you go, Wash. The Possums. When it was like, I hear their voices, and I hear the dad Possum is playing dead, and I see that the daughter Possum at one point plays dead. The only thing I could think, given who the voice actor was, oh my, is that still the daughter Possum, or did they find an exact copy of her and replace?
They just made it look.
And sound exactly like her, just like Avril Lavigne.
Oh no!
God.
The only thing I could think of. I mean, I'm like, oh my god, did they just replace her and find a carbon like with Avril Lavigne?
What? Oh wow! Yeah, this has some interesting stunt casting. Bruce Willis.
So Watch looks like they're gonna collapse.
Avril Lavigne, she fell and she crawled and she twigged.
Well, understand. This movie came out in 2006. The conspiracy dates back to 2003. This is like prime time.
Yeah. Also, probably the primest Avril Lavigne's career was, or maybe
because she got replaced.
Yeah, it's like. Wait, so
I will
who's
leave
Gary
this call right now.
Sorry, Rancid.
I hate to speak ill of the dead, and well, I guess I'm not, but dead being either of those people. But in this case, it would be Gary Shandling is very funny in stand-up performances, in the Larry Sanders show in particular. By all appearances, the man was not much of a voice actor. And they asked,
yeah, no, I said Bruce Willis before with the eyes, but I got that wrong. That was absolutely Gary Shandling.
That was
yeah.
Gary Shandling is required to yell a lot.
Yeah.
Yell, air quotes.
Every yell he makes sounds like that TikTok grunt.
God.
I think there's just like one sound effect in Ocarina of Time of like some sort of like animal just going. I forget what enemy it is, but that's what it reminds me of.
I remember in the Judd Apatow's Gary Shandling documentary, they went through all of his roles and went over the heads. There was just like he spent so much effort, so much energy on this project. He really gave it his all, and then he moved on. They showed us those clips of him going, "Wah!" And then it's just like, well, this is embarrassing. Let's talk about how good he did at basketball.
It was Wind Waker. It was the bird in Wind Waker. Never mind.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
But yeah, like he's not even trying. Like, I mean, he's trying, but like his role out of all of them feels the most phoned in out of all of them.
It's like I don't know how much of it is simply not caring and how much of it is inability.
Yeah, which is always like the diciest, right?
Because the weird thing is, I can tell you, Bruce Willis has never given a shit about anything he's appeared in from like 1999 onward. You can see him give up as early as North. The man made movies as a retirement plan. He doesn't give a shit. He'll be in anything.
But he's out of everybody. I mean, you're right, but I feel like out of everybody, he's like out of the main cast anyway. He's like the most competent.
And that's the weird thing is because it fucks up the gauge. You can't tell anymore.
No, he was definitely the most competent out of the main cast. Some side characters might have been a little better, but of the main cast, he was definitely the best.
Yeah,
I can agree with that, but it's not saying much.
No, it's not saying much, but like I get something out of it.
I liked Allison Janney as Gladys.
I stand.
She really gives a powerhouse performance, but the thing is, like through most of the movie, she also sounded like kind of identical to the voice actress April Winchell for me, who like appeared in Wander Over Yonder and voices Clarabelle Cow. And and I was thinking, well, you could have just saved some money. Like, I want Allison Janney to eat as much as anybody, but I'm saying there's a Rite Aid alternative available. You can just hire journeyman voice actors to do the job that celebrities can kind of do.
What did you think of Steve Carell in this?
I do not think of Steve Carell.
I think the character is barely in the movie.
I'm kind of glad because I didn't get a damn thing out of.
Neither did I. But I remembered him being in the movie a lot.
I remember
he's on the posters. He's on the video game covers.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Trailers, my God, the trailers.
The trailers.
They had Steve Carell like doing the Ben Stiller thing in Madagascar, where he like Steve Carell is explaining the movie that they're gonna be making with my good friend Bruce Willis and Gary Shandling.
We don't want to be here.
Like he's top billing and he's barely in the thing. He has a Doritos joke and he has an energy drink joke.
And a cookie joke. A cookie joke that runs multiple times.
I like a cookie. The energy drink joke, I'm gonna say it. kind of taken from that episode of Futurama where Fry drinks all those cups of coffee.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're not, I know what you're not saying that to compare them, but like, good God. This is in like a different galaxy from Futurama.
I know, but it's made so much funnier by like the completely serene expression on Fry's face. It's like he just walks through the entire room on fire. It's like night and day.
Exactly. And plus, I mean,
Hammy just has like a kooky smile.
And Fry is also like, Fry starts from a normal place. Even just looking at that episode, Fry starts from a normal place,
and he's
slowly,
getting
slowly
jittery.
gets to that point, literally like coffee by the end, and then
it's just like
everything's on fire around him in slow mo, and everyone's like, "We were saved by some blur. What happened?" And then nobody cares because they have food to eat. Like Futurama is the best.
I will say everyone, it was either mid or not good. Like Wanda Sykes, mid. William Shatner, I thought would either ham up the role, mid.
That's the weird thing is like you give like the Shat Man a character whose entire crux is like hammy death scenes. He's more animated on that version of Rocking the Suburbs as like an angry neighbor.
Yeah. That's right. I don't know. We were talking about like I don't know if that part actually played in the credits because I don't remember this.
No, they replace it with like all of the characters, like possibly all of the voice actors, either like possibly ad-libbing about TV, or this was like a scene that was cut.
Yeah. So in like the album version, they have William Shatner as a neighbor who's just like just saying like I was just noticing like your lawn is looking like you've been on vacation for a long time, and we wouldn't want people to think that now, would we? And
it transgresses like he's got anger management class. He's clearly like very high strung, and eventually it's like your dog is like screwing around in my flower beds. I'm gonna kill him with karate.
Yeah, I know martial arts, and I know how to use it. No, on your dog. It's like that's like the funniest thing in this entire thing, and it's not in the movie.
Yep.
Steve Carell was responsible for my biggest laugh in the movie, but it was not an intentional one.
Yes.
Oh God, what was it?
For most of the movie, like I am stone-faced, not even so much as a smirk or a chuckle. But then Vern, during like the big second act blow up, like the first of two second act blow up.
Oh yeah, that's right, do it too.
Because he hasn't been revealed as like a scammer yet. Vern calls them all stupid for listening to RJ's lies about the suburbs, and like tearfully says, "I'm not stupid." And I just start fucking cackling like Robert De Niro and Shakespeare.
Yes!
Like just throwing my head back, I'm smoking a cigar.
It's so terrible.
I'm with Rancid on this one. I'm with Rancid on this one. That was one of the best laughs.
It's awful.
He's so fucking stupid. He's the stupidest of all.
The stupidest one.
You're the fucking I can burp my ABCs guy.
You can't make that land because there's not even a kernel of meanness to it. It's completely factual. You're a fucking moron.
We haven't done this in a while, or maybe we have. I don't know. Let's do a positive exercise.
A therapy exercise.
Therapy exercise. What was the positive that we all enjoyed about the movie? And we can't say it's the animation because that's a lie.
I was gonna say that. I'm glad I didn't interrupt you. I'm glad, but I was literally gonna. You're saying you can't see the animation. I'm like, because it's a lie, or
it's like very. There's not even a lot of fur physics. It's like very flat. Like it's maybe a little like in terms of lighting tech and environmental stuff. It's like a little better than what you'd be seeing on Jimmy Neutron at the time, but no, it is like kind of higher level TV quality, even for the time.
I definitely wonder, like, we'll get to positives, I swear, but I was definitely wondering, like whether or not they were doing something like what they eventually did with Madagascar, was this was sort of like or like the Jimmy Neutron movie. They make a movie and then they use the movie to sell the TV show. And I wonder if they were planning that, where they were gonna have this over the head movie and then they transition it into a TV show. And I mean, it's based on a comic anyway, so these characters can like go on forever. We can have the Persian cat. We'll get the fucking him. But the
least I can say is that it's voiced by an actual Persian guy.
It is voiced by an actual
which
Persian.
was like at the time, the 2000s. That was a surprisingly high bar to clear.
Yeah.
Especially considering what was on TV. Yeah, what was on like direct to DVD Disney. Anyway. Positives. I think Claire wanted to. Did you want to go last?
So specifically, what I was saying was that I don't mind going last for this because I didn't really dislike that movie. I'm not crazy about it, but I didn't dislike it that much. So you guys can get your pickings first and all.
The thing is, like, I don't dislike it too much either. It's not good, but I still don't hate it.
It's
not good dinosaur level. But yeah, that's about it. I will say I don't know why. This may be because I just like dogs. Or probably the voice actor who I just looked it up.
Brian Stepanek, who's been in stuff.
Yes, right. The Rottweiler who goes, "Hey!" I don't know, just the way he does the voice makes you laugh. And then I realized it's Arwen from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I love that guy.
I have a line that was actually delivered by Omid Jalili, who we might remember from The Mummy. Maybe some of you remember his live-action turn in Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow?
I have seen that movie, but I don't remember
it's like one in a long list of like Sky Captain's old friends. It's like, oh dear, I don't think you should be going through with this Sky Captain. And it's like, well, if you remember him in anything, you probably remember him as like the prison warden in The Mummy when they're like hanging Brendan Fraser.
Sure.
He's one of those guys where I think like, did he deserve to have that good a career, or could he have had a better one? I never think he's had like exactly the right career for his talent level. It's like either could he have done worse or better? But anyway, like he plays Gladys's cat, Tiger, who has like a line that just, I don't know, cracked me up. Partially it was delivery, but it was like, my father had a perfectly flat face. He could barely breathe.
No, it was like I wrote it down. My father, he had an exceptionally flat face. He was so beautiful, he could barely breathe.
There's a few lines that's like not about suburbia. It's just about like exotic cat breeding, and it's like, all right, I'm into that.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not just like an isolated line, because it does kind of come back later. Because he mentions like he has an impeded sense of smell himself.
Yeah. That's it's a weird thing because it's something you could miss if you don't pay attention, and then they're like they make it plot relevant, and I'm like, okay,
effort. That's odd. I'm not used to seeing that.
My only problem with it is that it's not a fucking Persian cat. He does not look like a Persian cat.
He looks like a very fat Siamese.
It's just a generic cat. It's not a flat face at all. I don't know if they were like if they were like gonna try for it, and they were like, oh, that's too ugly though.
That's too ugly. We got to make the cat look good.
Maybe it was like a thing that was like, if it's a completely flat cat with like a tiny nose and mouth, it can't emote as well.
So I'm going through my notes because I have not. I last wrote these down like 2 weeks ago, whenever. But I'm trying to remember like any of the context of what. Oh my god, I do not remember.
Just toss some of them out. Maybe I'll remember.
I know what Claire's positive is.
I mean, I have a few that I could pull off, but I know the one that I want.
I know the one that you want too.
Oh, the one that because like
the one,
the one that we immediately like noticed. Yeah.
Wash. Think of something else.
No, you can take it. It's fine. I can think of others.
No, it's fine. It's fine. What happened in this movie?
How about you like read out some of your notes, and I'll try to.
Okay. I'll give this one. It's like it gives me like a I feel like there was another one other than the line about this father. I feel like there was another one that I laughed pretty hard at. But I'll give this one because I think I liked how it was like delivered. It was two Girl Scouts talking, and it was just background noise. Like it has nothing to do with anything, but they were just talking.
I think they were like gossiping about like how cookies make someone's face break out.
They get gossipy, and like one of them says, "No, Scarlett Johansson is allergic to chocolate. If she eats it, her face starts to explode." And the other one is like, "That is so unfair."
I do also, while the rabies joke didn't land for me, I do think it's really funny that in the book they had, it was literally like they copy pasted the face of Steve Carell. It was literally just like copy paste. Like they look at the book, they put the book down, and it's the exact same face.
Yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah, it's like the SpongeBob opening up the book and it's just land squirrel.
Yeah. I guess I'm the only one that thought she was particularly funny. But the star of the show for me was none of the main cast. It was Gladys, the bonkers wild. So everybody else in this movie is so tame, and then you just have this nutcase of a lady. I actually wrote down quotes. You have this nutcase of a lady saying lines to the Verninator, like, "Where have you been? I'm throwing a welcome to the neighborhood party tomorrow, and so far Debbie's car has killed more animals than you have." There's you can't arrest me. I'm the leader of the animal association or whatever. The possum gets run over and everyone's like, "Oh my god, what happened?" She goes, "I don't remember you all signing a permit to gather around like this."
I don't care if it violates the Geneva Convention. I want it.
She specifically requests that animals be euthanized as inhumanely as possible.
As inhumanely as possible, yes.
I
want these animals killed.
Gladys is going through some shit.
I am here for every second of it.
Her SUV was blown up by like a falling propane tank, and she gets a van through her house. I can't entirely blame her.
Her license plate is like, I want my name as this license plate. Her license plate is Gladys, but instead of an S, there's $3 signs at the end.
Now, if only you had an S in your name.
Yeah, I mean, this is true. It could be Claire with 3 S's at the end. It's fine. It's fine. Anything to match Gladys. She is in a movie that's like ho-hummy, I guess. Like I don't want to say ho-hummy, but like it doesn't go far with any of its ideas or crazy, even though, like, you know, Madagascar was like 2 movies ago and they totally could go crazy. And it's just in this very sanitary world, I guess. Like, there's just this nutcase who's animated like a nutcase and wants these animals to die as inhumanely as possible. Literally, she like gasses her house, right? She's the one who does that, or is that the skunk? I don't remember.
That's the skunk.
Okay. Oh no, but she's the one that like puts on the gas mask and tries killing them. Right.
They cork up Wanda Sykes' beehole.
Yes, I did want to bring up that was the quote that made me want to do this episode more than anything else. Not that, but a certain someone in our Discord saying, "Did they just cork Wanda Sykes' asshole? Wait for the payoff." Oh Lord, I hate this.
Because the entire house like bursts. It's one of 3 mushroom cloud jokes they do in this movie, and it's like you just see the cork fall like 200 feet away to the sidewalk, and I was like, oh.
One last mention of my first date. When we were watching this, you know, at the start, I got more into it as it went, kind of, not really, I don't want to say more into it, but I was more accepting of it, I guess. But I wasn't into it, like, at all at the start. And she was like, well, I mean, it could be worse. You know, it's a movie with, like, a bunch of animals, and you never hear people say it's their furry awakening. And I'm like, I guess. And then we get further into the movie, she goes, oh, God, remember when I said this wasn't anybody's furry awakening? I'm like, yeah. She goes, uh-oh. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then they get to the scene
Wanda Sykes is the cat.
Or more specifically, when they're, like, you know, prettying her up, quote unquote.
She shakes her tail.
Yeah, she's like, oh, is this me? She has, like, the hair and everything. And I was just like, oh, no.
They act like there aren't male skunks in the world.
Yeah,
Like, she is
seriously.
completely aberrant as a smelly creature. You could find a male skunk right now if you weren't such a
Yeah. If you
You're
put your mind
skunk
to
with
it and
bags.
stepped outside,
If you just go to the other animation studio in Warner Brothers, you'll find one. No
no
problem.
problem.
You dress up as a cat, he
Watch.
loves that even more.
He does. Oh God.
Wow.
The thing everybody kind of remembers about this is the social satire, especially of like suburbia. It's really just Gladys, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other human that really matters is Verninator. He's the only one, and that's stretching it almost kind of. Everybody else is just like there.
You know, she's the HOA president. She's the busybody. She's like throwing.
She talks on the phone.
She talks on the phone.
It's like,
She's
yeah,
got
I
a
can talk. I'm only driving.
giant fucking
Oh my
SUV. She's got like, she throws get-togethers for people who may not want them. You know, it's like it's a classic overbearing PTA mom stereotype minus the kids. And I should note that minus the kids, she's got a big fucking wine cellar in her kitchen. I don't know, guys. Gladys may have a problem, but it doesn't really commit. There's like Rock in the Suburbs, which is like Ben Folds at his poppiest. This cover for him and the other montage songs that he composed specifically for this movie is really as deep as you get with the satire in this.
It is very much like an adaptation of like the original like newspaper comic, which was itself like a social satire, like the you know, this comics about like this. It was just like animals like observing humans and talking about them like they're like zoo creatures, like watching television. I was checking like what they're up to now, and I haven't checked in a bit, but like last I saw that like the Go Comics comment sections are riling up because the comic is suddenly being pro gun control, and going.
You know what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is? It's Gladys.
I did not go that far into it, but I did not see Gladys anywhere in the comic.
Oh no! I'm saying you know externally, like in a more meta sense.
But I did see like I went to the very first page, and one of the comments is like, so is this comic based on the movie? And it's just like all these like replies, it's just like angry like boomers and greatest generation.
Yeah, it's like the Go Comics commenters are either like the most clueless, earnest, autistic teenagers you could ever meet, or like 85-year-olds who are complaining, "Oh, I hate Nancy now. What happened to Guy Gilchrist?"
Oh my God. We haven't. You know what group we haven't? Well, actually, there's a couple things I want to say. We've been talking about voice actors and them not doing the best.
Excuse me, random. I'm sorry. Can I interrupt just one time?
Go ahead.
I verified their names. If we're gonna talk about voice actors, Rancid. Do you want to talk about? I verified Lunch Table Larry and Barbecue Barry.
Okay, so as part of the above and beyond research that I do for this, that I not only watched the movie twice, electively, by choice, as a creature with finite time on this earth. I also watched the 2005 Apprentice tie-in episode, where it's like, hey, business dipshits, you got to make an Xbox display for Walmart. Which is odd, by the way. Walmart apparently very heavily tied with this movie in terms of, I don't know, it's kind of as anti-consumerist as you can get in kind of a wishy-washy way. And
No Lorax. Just think about Lorax.
Yeah, it's the Lorax presents a hybrid vehicle.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
How bad can we be? But no, this is it's like the two business dipshits do not actually thrill the Walmart executives, but it's like they do kind of acknowledge on the shows like, yeah, you kind of did the best, I guess. It's not a great performance, but you kind of fulfilled the agreement. So then it's like Mr. Donnie Trump comes out and he says, "Gentlemen, as a reward, you're gonna go down to DreamWorks Studios. You're gonna meet with this Jeffrey Katzenberg, amazing guy, and you're gonna be in their new animated feature, Over the Hedge." Now, first off, I'm wondering, does Donald Trump still remember what Over the Hedge is? Because that's an interesting thought.
Right? Honestly.
It's like only the movie, he only remembers like the movies that he has been in, like maybe Home Alone 2, or like that he has talked about on television. It's like, oh no, Over the Hedge. I remember that. Shrek, what? Yeah, there's like a lot of the business dipshits like going. This is actually one of the more comprehensive behind the scenes featurettes on Over the Hedge that I could find. Is this like
I can't find notes on this fucking
like
movie.
apprentice product placement? It's like they tour it with like Jeffrey Katzenberg and they look at storyboards and stuff, and there's a lot of fake laughter from both of them, and they appear as Lunch Table Larry and Barbecue Barry. They're two extras, and I think their words like total are brr and what? Not the most, a very auspicious start to your voice acting career. I don't know. I think it was a thing where it's like, we've already got like 2 male incidentals picked out. Let's just rig the jury because you know The Apprentice is fucking rigged. And it's like, let's just get these 2 dudes in the booth. It does, because it doesn't fucking matter if they, let's just get them in here. Let's get them to grunt into the tape, and we'll just put them in.
But that's that they had to do multiple takes of grunts because they were that bad.
Man, well, yeah, it's like they knew like they had to give them one line because like no matter what, like this had to be something that they can shoot in like 3 hours at most.
Yeah.
It's like the British one just saying like, "Look out, it's JR," and Katzenberg like puts his hands on his face.
If these characters got cut, I could have fit in you the raccoon.
We shot 40 takes, and that was the best one.
Katzenberg's Mr. Burns?
I mean,
Kind of.
If the shoe fits.
excellent.
Excellent. I still rather give him a Woody Allen voice personally, but no, Mr. Burns works too.
Are you saying boo or boo-erg? Boo-erg.
I was saying boo Atzenberg. So random, you were saying before.
That's not who I was gonna say. I was gonna bring up like the least experienced voice actor who is a lead imposter Avril Lavigne, apparently, according to your theory.
The facts, let's be
and like it's obvious that Jeffrey Katzenberg is like, oh, maybe we could take a pop star who's popular and we'll make her in Over the Hedge and she'll play a role to get the kids coming. Yeah, people love Avril Lavigne, and maybe she'll sing a song for the movie.
I have to imagine like Ben Folds was their like backup. We had him for 1 or 2 songs. Then Avril Lavigne said, "I'm not singing like Rocking the Hedge or whatever it is." And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Brothers, get me Katy Perry. Sorry, Katy Perry is not available. Then get me Avril Lavigne.
Get me her non-deceased union equivalent.
I would give so much money to see what, like season 4 through 8 Simpsons would do with the Avril Lavigne conspiracy. I am so interested.
And it ultimately comes to nothing because she has barely any more lines than like the porcupine
and
kids.
what she does have is like nothing. Like at one point,
Like,
she's
the forced little emotional beat where it's like,
Yeah, it's the
first
fourth
she's
beat.
like embarrassed by her dad like dying. She's like, dad. And then she sees him fake dying, and she is impressed by this for some reason. Not really sure why, because I guess it's because he did it in front of a crowd. She should have been even more embarrassed. And then I think it's because it's a kind of a successful distraction. And then she fake dies herself to get away
that's when
from
Gladys like punts her across the room, right?
Yeah.
Oh, kicked her, yeah.
It's same thing.
punching
Same
her.
thing.
Barely does it before she like gets fucking kicked down the stairwell.
Yeah, no, that made me laugh. I mean, I don't know if it's just, Gladys bias or whatever, but like, I guess just because like mid sentence and then it's just.
I know it's supposed to be like a sentimental
Yes,
thing.
it's like played up to be sad, and it's like this Possum just got
Yeet.
punched across the room.
Again, it's just like the most violent slam, and they were like, Heather?
I was laughing.
I thought you were dead. I learned from the best.
It's like, really? That was like 2 lines earlier. That's it. You didn't earn the sentimental
nobody
moment
matters
at all.
in this movie.
No, and also speaking about people who don't matter, the porcupine.
I was really hoping we would go this whole thing without talking about them. I was really hoping.
like you got Eugene Levy,
And Catherine
Eugene
O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara, and 3 kids who don't matter. But you got those 2 comedians who are like, oh hey, how you doing there? I'm a Canadian porcupine in American Southern for some reason.
I think it was a Wisconsin thing.
Yeah,
The Wikipedia says Minnesota, which I can kind of.
It's like
oh, don't shout no.
Yeah, it's like if they had been like, oh, full on, oh, gee, golly gosh, Canadians, they would have been beavers, They would not have been above it.
If this took place in Canada, they would have been beavers. Either way, they barely mattered. They were mattered even less than the Avril Lavigne possum. Like the joke of the kids like learning technology and basically playing GTA. That's it. That's the only joke that they had for them.
It wasn't even was it even really a joke, or was it just a thing for them to do?
It was just a thing for them to do. I hate to bring this movie up again, but this suffered from a problem similar to a certain Bug movie where there was too many characters.
You want to hear something funny?
What?
Of all the voice actors to reprise their role in the tie-in video game, it was just the kids. Because you can get the kids for cheap.
Oh yeah.
Well, of course. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The only thing that comes to mind is the scene where they're like nice to RJ, and then he watches a TV and the TV guilts him, and then the first thing you hear is from the television is RJ turning on the TV. We have a we now go to Scoundrel Among Us.
Yes,
just like,
that is why this movie is better than Shrek 2.
I clipped it and I posted it in the chat immediately.
Yeah.
I had to.
I do think. I mean, okay, so like actually, like I don't think this movie's that great. I think we bought this up in our private Discord, so I mean, I guess I could bring it up here. I think the movie kinda has like a meme value going for it. I mean, obviously Gladys for me, but they're at the very. I don't know if it has a meme value. It's more than Shark Tale. But it feels like it's kind of something that they were going for. They just didn't go all the way with it like they would with a certain jazz movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time like the 4 of us talked was with Shark Tale, and that was definitely a slow progression, a road to B movie, if you would. It's a slow progression for that cartoony energy.
I know that DreamWorks was like kind of a maligned studio where the fortunes tended to rise and fall depending on the production. A lot of it, as Claire pointed out to me, like a lot of 2D stuff was not looked on favorably at the time, but
no,
there were still successes that people could point to. Shark Tale, I would say, was when the bloom came off the rose, so to speak. And then And then Over the Hedge was the point where you start to notice, wait a minute, they're all doing the eyebrow thing. Like, you start to notice how calculated the whole DreamWorks attitude thing was. And B-movie is the point where they just become like a cultural punching bag.
Yeah, because ignoring the Aardman stuff, Shrek 3rd is coming up, so that was if we didn't already, have the nail in the coffin. It's just funny because, a movie like How to Train Your Dragon wasn't too long after Shrek the 3rd, and that movie got a lot of, critical acclaim, but it was a lot of stuff like, oh, can you believe that DreamWorks made this? Or, I bet it's overrated because DreamWorks made it, when, it's stuff like Shrek 2 really wasn't that long ago.
Shrek 2 was 2 years ago when this movie came out. It came out the same year as Shark Tale. So that's another thing that Shark Tale just when it was just like, oh, this is the company that doesn't care. Oh, they're just trying to pump shit out.
Yeah.
And this is also from the Glendale studio. This is not from the studio that brought us Shrek. It's from the studio that brought us Shark Tale.
Yep.
And it's from the co-director that wrote the American writer for
Chicken Run.
Run.
Yep.
The chicken.
Yep.
It's the writer that
I could see them.
said, you gotta have a romance in this movie. You gotta.
And there's a romance, barely.
I can see. I could
just
see
thankful-
them at least. I can't praise the animation because, again, like I said, it is only a couple of notches above where TV was at the time. But I can see that even though this is much more visually flat than Shark Tale, which at least had, bright colors you could latch onto and shit to keep you entertained like jangling keys, this was more technically competent, but at the same time lost a lot of the visual flair that I think had to come with the brain drain of the 2D animation department.
But bear in mind, 2006 was a busy-ass time for the movies, especially for, CGI animation. This was, suddenly, Pixar had, huge competition, and DreamWorks, of course, being one of them. At the same time as this was, when Cars came out, and, to get to, animation, to bring up the animation, that was when, they decided, let's actually get serious about ray tracing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of been the look and feel for movies from then on. Is suddenly the lighting is looking a hell of a lot better. It's looking a hell of a lot less flat.
Suddenly we're learning how to do depth of field stuff without just relying on Gaussian blurring the background by hand.
What was it? Next year was next year WALL-E? 2007, was that WALL-E?
WALL-E was 2008, as I recall.
Oh, 2008, right. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what came.
Was it Ratatouille?
Ratatouille was 2007. WALL-E was 2008. 2009 was Up.
Yeah.
So already
you
can see the competition is making leaps and bounds. And then, well, hey guys, do you like Jerry Seinfeld? Because we got him.
And we'll get to Jerry Seinfeld soon enough.
Soon enough.
But it's to bring it all back. It's definitely it's weird how even 2006 would just look so dated compared to now.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for that glow up moment. When are we gonna get to the point where they're like, oh, if we just turn this thing on, oh, it looks better now. Oh, that's all we needed. Just flip the switch.
It's like that point in the 30s where other people started stealing Fleischer's patent on the multi-plane camera, and suddenly they could do stuff. It's because Ratatouille and WALL-E and Up, not perfect movies visually anymore, but they can hold their own against the stuff coming against today.
Yeah.
And this is well, God help you, you're trying, but
it's rough for, even just talking in a much thinner vacuum, and I know, you didn't watch these movies with us, but you've seen them. 2 movies ago, we watched Madagascar, which was, I'm not saying that's oh, this looks better than 2023, but it was energetic. and it was fun. We all talked about how fun it was.
Yeah.
And then the movie after that was Wallace and Gromit. Says enough.
Yeah.
And now we're here at Over the Hedge. It's like, man, we're doing so good.
The rocket was getting close to the destination, and then it flew back to the sun.
And then the umbrella caught on fire.
Well, specifically what happened is that Madagascar got close. Wallace and Gromit overshot it so far that we needed to come back, but Over the Hedge took it back too far. That's what happened.
What's next? Could it be the next Aardman feature? Perhaps.
And last.
There's
For
Flushed
DreamWorks,
Away.
anyway.
Flushed Away is gonna. I'm looking forward to it. It's just gonna be really sad for so many reasons. I'm not even talking about like the last Aardman. I'm thinking about the circumstance.
Random has been interrupted so many times today. Let's give him a shot. Let's give him a chance.
We've all been interrupted today.
Final thoughts.
No.
The Verminator, he got like a huge introduction. And but he was honestly kind of mid. Like, again, something about it, like I expected more, but like Rancid said, if it was given to a different voice, he probably would have stood out more. He feel like a character. You feel like he was supposed to, like a good character actor could make him like the shining point of the movie.
Him with the long hair on the van mural, and then he gets out of the van, he's just got a shitty comb over. Not bad, but could have been more.
If you got the right voice, it would have been so much better.
The one thing that I do want to say about him before we let Random talk, his full name is not the Verninator. It is I just had it.
Dwayne Lafontaine.
De La Fontaine, which I think is kind of funny.
I like the scene with the TV. There's also the funny dream sequences he have where like Bruce Willis raccoon gets eaten by the bear. And then there's also the stupid scene of like, oh my god, the mopey doping moment where you hear the song, and then you just see RJ staring at the moon, and the bear just materializes, and it goes, "Moon's full. See you soon, RJ."
This is gonna get someone a divorce, I swear.
I was really hoping we wouldn't step into that one.
Of course, it's Rancid here. Of course we will.
By the way, if your furry awakening is Over the Hedge, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's traditionally
if you got like a skunk sona or something, I get it. Or I'll pretend to.
If I would see more of a furry awakening for Were Rabbit than I would for Over the Hedge.
Curse of the Were Rabbit would be like introduction of the fursona. Like if that was what you found out a fursona was, I'd say valid.
Like, you got Robin Hood for the oldsters, and you got Zootopia for the youngsters. They both give you variety.
We had Over the Hedge for the people who liked Over the Hedge. Nowadays, we have Mario Wonder, which is going to open up a lot of doors with the elephant.
I'm still thinking about you've got Over the Hedge for people who like Over the Hedge.
I can't. I don't hate this movie. I swear I don't.
I mean, my thing is still like
there's
the
not much
quote value it has. That's my big thing.
I don't care. I don't care
I'm
about
trying
this
to think of like any other like memorable moments. I kind of wish I saw it twice, but also I'm really glad I didn't because I have better things to do with my time.
I've seen this movie enough times.
I mean, like the context is like whatever, but animation wise, I thought it was cute. Is when RJ goes back to them and they're in the truck, the Verninator's truck. He's knocked out. They're driving. RJ comes back and he's like, "Let me in." And Vern is like, "Oh, he's with us." So he goes down to let him in. RJ jumps into the car and they like grab him and they toss him out the other side of the window.
That
was a little cute.
They mosh carry him with their little animal hands.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I was just thinking the same thing I was thinking with Ants. It's just like, man, I don't like any of these fucking characters.
No, I like Ants compared to this.
Yeah, we'll get into what I think, but I think I don't know.
Yeah.
Ants is still to me. I've said fever dream. I think an experiment. That's what I would use to describe Ants. This is a movie.
You know what? I'm going to share this story to give Rancid some context about what I was talking about with Better Than Spirit.
Please.
My Mama Bystander and I watched Spirit Stallions of the Chimera or whatever the heck it's called.
Cimarron?
And whatever. And it was just, and my mom was complaining like, and not even 20 minutes in about how boring it was and how she hated it. and how she would watch anything else besides this. Like, I thought I was bad. I hated it. My mom hated it more. We then watched the Mario movie together, like the same week as Over the Hedge, because I bought a DVD of it. No, Blu-ray. She never played any Mario games before, but you know what? She said she enjoyed it, and I was asking, "Mama Bystander, you really enjoyed the movie?" And she goes, "Well, it's better than Spirit."
Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron is like an ironic punishment James Baxter would receive in hell. Oh, you like animating horses, do you? We'll have all the horse shots in the world.
Bear from Over the Hedge, what are you doing with the horses?
I can only think of, so you like donuts, eh? That's all I can think of. That's all I can think of.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just specifically that version of it.
I don't understand. Bill Cowell went mad in 15 minutes.
Mad in 15 minutes! But now that I'm thinking about The Simpsons less, I can also think about... Random, do you want to say it? The timer.
It had to be when you were in the middle.
The timer.
You couldn't swallow. You couldn't spit. You couldn't like put it in your hand, say it, and then put the water back in your mouth.
No, it would have gone all over my keyboard.
The timer.
Just spit it back in the can. You're drinking it anyway.
I just wanted it to be end. I wanted it to be over. Over the Hedge, final thoughts. It's funny because when I first watched this film and I had it ready and we were ready to do it the first time, I was ready to defend it and be like, you know what? This wasn't that bad. But like a bad rash, the more you just leave it alone and let it sit with you, the worse it gets. And I don't know. It went from like mildly entertaining to really boring. And I just didn't think it's the worst case of celebrity stunt casting. There are some good things about it, like the dog, and Gladys, but it just felt like a movie that was just made to make money, and that's all it is. It's not good. I would put it below Ants, but above Spirit, because my mom says it's better than Spirit.
Glad we have our the bar is still Spirit.
This is like that Domino's meme where like the first is Robin Williams is cast in Aladdin, and the final is just Over the Hedge and Jeffrey Katzenberg setting them up.
No, the final domino is yes, the winners of the Apprentice will let you be Hot Dog Harry and Lunch Table Larry.
Future president praises Jeffrey Katzenberg on live television.
Oh my god!
But it was like a thing of I didn't hate this movie, but much like actually it was kind of the opposite for me. It was like a bad rash, and it's like best left alone. It's like you don't want to be picking at that. You don't want to be giving that too much attention. You just let it be and hope it goes away on its own. And it did. America's love affair with Over the Hedge was tumultuous but brief. And that's the best thing I can say about this movie, really. It's brief. It's breezy. It feels like longer, but my god, it's like 77 minutes minus credits. You're in, you're out, and like if we hadn't started recording like an hour after I watched this, I couldn't have had as much to remember because it just out of your head so fast.
It was out of a lot of our heads too.
It just it's the perfect movie for this vision of suburbia. Consumable, disposable, and garbage to be picked over by little scavengers like us.
Jumping off that point, it was an odd sensation like watching this, and it was like we were saying that it had the overt social satire, but it was a sort of like social satire where it's like Yeah, isn't this stuff like wasteful? But also, isn't this stuff like so cool? Isn't it like cool to have delivery men and giant cars and all the food and all the fountains? It's like
It's so cool. You should buy it.
It's so cool you could buy it. There were no brands in this, but like it could have gone either way. They could have been like ants, where they just had like a whole picnic table full of brands, with giant Mountain
you
Dew
remove like
logo.
one or two like lines about snack foods having MSG and hydrogenated corn oil, and all of a sudden like Doritos is fucking ponying up the cash, my friend.
My main problem really is that I don't like any of these coasters. Like I was saying ants earlier, I was looking at my list. I put this one above ants. It is better than ants, but I care about it less. That's the thing, is that it has occasional jokes. Persian cat's father, like that was like the biggest laugh, but like the biggest intentional laugh, for me. But like I was watching this, just wondering like, why did I like this? Why did we like this? I'm watching this, like, what did we get out of this?
I totally
movie?
understood why I liked it as much as I did when I was a kid.
I mean,
specifically,
like kids love Shrek. They can understand why Shrek is good, but they can't understand why movies are bad. Every movie you see as a kid is like the greatest movie ever.
Yeah, or it's bad for nonsensical reasons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like you just haven't like really formed good thoughts on it.
I've talked about this on the podcast before, but when I was younger, I didn't like Finding Nemo because I thought a bunch of bad stuff was happening to Marlin and Dory, and it's like, well, of course nothing bad's going to happen to them. They're the main characters. So I didn't like stuff like that.
I was a little puss kid. That 1-2 punch of the Barracuda and the diver had me crying to get out of the theater.
Aww.
I probably could not have handled Bruce the Shark. I was a little baby.
I wonder how like kid you would have reacted to Avril Lavigne getting kicked down the stairs.
Probably laughed.
We'll never laugh.
I mean, I'm a different person than I was back then, but not completely different.
I don't care. I'm really waiting for us to get to the good movies.
Claire, did you do your final thoughts in the middle of that, or
no? I was gonna say yes, but I couldn't think of a joke. I mean, overall, I didn't think it was that bad. I'm liking these movies a bit more than Wash, as I could tell. I mean, I have it pretty low, but I don't think it was that bad. I put it in between. What did I put in between? Shark Tale, above Shark Tale, and below El Dorado. It's pretty comfortably there.
I put it below El Dorado as well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first one in a while where it's like, it isn't particularly close. Like, it's pretty far up above Shark Tale for me, but it's pretty far below El Dorado. So it's the first one, like, I know with, like, Where Rapid, I was like, oh, how does this compare to, like, Prince of Egypt and Chicken Run and stuff? But this was a very easy ranking, very solid. It's got, dumb, silly moments in it that make me laugh. I think the dumb fun of it, there is dumb fun to be had, at least for me, and that's where most of my value comes from. So overall, like, it's all right. Oh, I don't think I would watch it again, but I would go to YouTube and look up Over the Hedge Gladys compilation or something. Like, that's the most you're gonna get out of me.
yeah?
It made for a pretty good date night.
An elongated date night. Again, the date ends tonight.
I think if I had to rank the two that I've seen, Over the Hedge goes above Shark Tale because it's lazy and it's ramshackle and it's very like emotionally contrived in those bits where it tries to tug at the heartstrings. But I didn't feel tarnished watching it like I did with Shark Tale. Like, this wasn't offensive to the human soul in any way I could articulate. It's just, you use it, you buy it, you throw it away, right?
I'm just thinking about, like, if we had done this recording, like, a week earlier, because I remember...
My immediate reaction was throw this into the sea and hope garbage doesn't float.
Yes.
So I'm glad, like, you've gotten some time to sit on it.
Yeah, that was a raw wound.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
No, I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at Over the Hedge. I'm not. This is nowhere near as bad as Good Dinosaur. Nowhere near.
The next one is going to be still in 2006, the very end of 2006. And we'll have to talk about Aardman one last time.
One last time.
One more time.
Yeah.
But until then, Random, do the plug.
No, Rancid, where can we find you?
Oh,
I'm not in anywhere.
Okay. So in that case, you can find us on
Rancid.
twitter.com.
Rancid, what? Sorry. I was gonna make a dumb joke. You go, watch.
Go, Wash.
Do the dumb joke. I want to hear
Okay.
the dumb joke.
I was gonna say, Rancid, people can find you on Discord. What are the numbers after your username?
Oh, wait.
Dumb
Well, you
joke.
can click the little hashtag button that used to be in my. You can tell from the little hashtag button in my profile. It made no sense. Why did they do this?
Why did they do this?
I like the reaction from somebody where it's like they saw that like the Discord says like please add in like symbols or numbers, and it's like, oh, you can add numbers, Discord. You can add numbers.
Speaking of numbers, plug?
Speaking of, if you like what you listen to, then you can check out our twitter.com/WRK podcast page. We'll let you know when the next episode comes out. And also subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/WRK podcast. And also, and then WRK.simplecast.com and wherever else you may find your podcast. We have separate things, but you can learn about that on Twitter.
I'm Claire.
I'm the Wash.
I want some food.
I am the president of the Homeowners Association.
I hope you can hear my applause.
You are Rancid. That you are. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.